In this video, I will explain how to hyperburst in Phantom Forces. Please note that the jokes that I make in this video are only for comedic purposes only. You have been warned. Alright, so to understand hyperburst, you need to understand how the burst mechanic works. So burst is very straightforward. You either click or hold down mouse 1 gently to fire 2 or 3 bullets with a bit of vertical recoil climb to it. Easy, right? Now do that, but this time you're gonna time your clicks to avoid the burst cap that hinders your bursting. Every burst weapon in the game has a burst cap. This means that fighting at longer ranges can be a bit difficult because you have to aim slightly down in order to make your shots hit your opponent. It would be advised to use weapons having a high fire rate of 900 or above for hyperbursting, because having a fire rate under 900 is not as effective as something like 1000 in fire rate. This is where attachments like the muzzle booster can really help you out to turn your automatic firearm into something pretty good. These are weapons like the KA1, MP5K/10, M4 and the M16A4. However, some firearms doesn't need the muzzle booster, and these are weapons like the AK-12BR, AK-12, PPK-12, RPK-12, and 93R. But be aware that hyperbursting consumes more ammunition than what you eat on Taco Bell. Hyperbursting consumes more ammunition than your average Honey Badger, HK-416, and C7A2 tryhard on Metro. Hey, speaking of Metro, let's talk about some maps. So obviously Metro being the grand central for utter spawn killing and domination. But if I'm gonna be real with you, just use it in medium range and close range maps. Like honestly, just avoid long range maps. With that being said, let's take a look on attachments for hyperburst setups. So, starting with the muzzle brake, a great option to decrease your camera kick, vertical recoil, but it gives you worse horizontal recoil. Now, if you don't know what the difference between vertical recoil and horizontal recoil is, vertical recoil is where your bullets go upwards, and horizontal recoil is where your bullets go to the sides. Now, next thing is the Stubby Grip. Stubby Grip has always been just a great grip, giving you better recoil and camera kick. Like, come on, you gotta. Okay, and the next attachment is the burst grouping. Now, this is an attachment that is very powerful on certain guns. And yeah, giving you better recoil, recovery, and actually the burst grouping in the test plays as we're currently speaking has become very powerful on the MP5 and its variants, giving you better recoil, torso multi, higher headshot multiplier, better minimum damage range and damage. It's basically like an upgrade to those weapons, but it kind of requires you to know your timing on your clicks in order to burst very well, as they have like 800 in RPM and above that. Now let's move on over to two attachments. I'm gonna put them together. So this is the full stock and the long barrel. Again, two attachments that are very powerful on certain guns, giving you actually in general better recoil and actually long range potential. So that is actually pretty nice to have. The next attachment is the muzzle booster. It's not a bad option to turn your automatic firearm into a hyperburst capable weapon with increased 8% in fire rate, and that it also increases your recoil, but very powerful combined with burst grouping. And at last, when it comes to scopes, I like to use reflex sight because it's always been my kind of go-to sight. Unless you want to be that guy who decides to put on a fucking Kusaku sight because Ruby said the sight is a cheat code, or you're that one weep who thinks that anime sights are funny/cute to put on your gun.
I have a question for God. What?
Or you're that one guy who praises iron sights and couldn't give a shit because the description apparently can't stop you and you can't read for some reason. Or you're that one guy who watches videos for the best sights as possible, but you were blind enough to check the fucking low sight magnification on the red dots.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Boys, this was a blast to make. And please, to show your support, please hit that like button. And also subscribe while you're at it. It helps me out to make these videos for you guys. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go take a shower now. I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out.